We got some huge changes on the way.
It's going to be a stormy week this week.
When you look at this, you say, well, where's all this rain going to come from? And of course, the obvious answer is it's going to be coming from the sky.
Some days are awesome. Like this. Brand new Lamborghini, only a couple 100 miles on it, underwater, yeah.
Stormy weather is coming.
All eyes focused on the Gulf of Mexico.
Moisture coming up from the Gulf of Mexico, a cold front coming in from the west, and the two combine to produce some pretty heavy rains here. It's going to be kind of interesting to see how this all pans out.
Boom. I got blood moon fever. It is, whoa. Hey, hold on, I gotta go.
Are you sure this line is clean?
This is a Thor News presentation.
Doesn't matter what I believe.
Stay cool. Hit the button, baby. Thor News presents.
As we take a look at the water vapor imagery, this is a look at the moisture, the mid-levels of the atmosphere. We're starting to see quite a bit of moisture pushing across not just the mid-Atlantic states, but further north.
We're going to need the umbrella because some of this rain could be heavy at times as it marches its way up.
And we have a new system out here right in this kind of cluster of storms here, very weak and disorganized.
We're going to be looking at quite a good transport of moisture across the Gulf of Mexico and into the Florida Panhandle and really all of the western coast of Florida and then into the southeast.
Sunday set a rainfall record of 7.5 inches of rain, and they had more rain there this morning.
Some kind of hybrid type of low that's going to rocket itself up into the south. Mostly, we're looking at this week a lot of heavy rain coming up right up into the Gulf Coast states, parts of Florida. This is going to come northward.
As I mentioned to you earlier, big changes are on the way because we do have a frontal system moving in from the west that will bring in some very unsettled weather across the northeast.
So here's the map for tomorrow afternoon. We see the cold front coming into the east, and this blue area is an area where there can be more than half an inch to an inch of rain in a 6-hour period. So it's coming down pretty hard.
And when it gets up there, take a cold front coming in, all this tropical moisture coming up, and the two are going to sort of combine. It's going to spell problems, folks northward, although what we call overrunning. You can get copious amounts of rain, and that's what's going to happen.
We are looking at drenching showers and thunderstorms
along the eastern seaboard. Still a strong flow off the Atlantic, so that is pumping in moisture here.
So that's our big problem. And then things kind of get interesting after that. This is where we get into sort of this problematic thing, because this is the big picture, all right? Some kind of hybrid type of low that's going to rocket itself up into the south.
And some of that could cause some localized flooding thanks to that frontal system moving in from the west, as well as all this tropical moisture coming in from the south, and that will bring in some heavy rainfall for Tuesday.
And that's kind of interesting. If you look at the GFS 60-hour precipitation totals, very heavy as you would expect with this feature along the west coast of Florida and up into the Florida Panhandle and also Georgia, parts of Alabama, and then up the spine of the Appalachians.
Still got some heavy rainfall and thunderstorms across the Houston area and off to the east into Louisiana as well. But we've got some heavier rainfall moving into the Florida Panhandle, where places like Panama City are under flash flood warning because 2 to 4 inches of rain have fallen already, expecting more all the way throughout the day today. So be careful on the Florida Panhandle.
As we get into Thursday and Friday, so you get additional rains coming in, even some heavier rains try to back in from the ocean. That could spell some big problems for folks in the Northeast in terms of additional flooding problems to the Hudson Valley and parts of New England. So
big plume of moisture coming up right out of the Northwest Caribbean and through the eastern Gulf of Mexico.
Here's our system coming up, a lot of showers and thunderstorms developing by tomorrow. This front's coming in with thunderstorms. Tropical moisture is all starting to come up northward, all right? And so now everything's starting to collide. The heavy rain's breaking out, and then you get this wave of low pressure that runs up along the front. And you can see that by Wednesday, you can see this heavy rain area coming up through Pennsylvania up into the northeast. The front is already kind of pushed its way through the mid-Atlantic, okay? So that's our big problem. Behind it, cool weather coming in. And then things kind of get interesting after that. This is where we get into sort of this problematic thing because...
But the pattern's going to be changing this week from one that has been basically dry to one that's going to be cooler and wetter. And
there's a song there, stormy weather.
Then a break.
Cider and donuts there.
Well,
And running into a warm and increasingly moist environment.
To a wetter and cooler pattern. Rain, coming down. Cats and dogs don't step in a poodle in that case. Cooler and wetter.
It is also going to be hot from Las Vegas to Phoenix, parts of Southern California and Arizona. Temps again above 100 degrees. So that is pumping in moisture here.
All right, that's it.
Rain is still sitting here along the eastern seaboard, cool and probably moist. Then a break.